And for more, Dr. Oh Sun, Senior Fellow at the Singapore Institute of International Affairs, joins us now. Now, Dr. Oh, I'm just wondering, what are some of the immediate priorities for Anwar Ibrahim? He has a lot on his plate, but he will certainly remember the downfall of the last Pakatan Harapan administration. And what do you think he's going to be doing differently this time round?
Well, his immediate priority would be to table a budget in the Malaysian parliament. That would also be, in a sense, a proof of his majority in parliament, because we have less than 1 month before the next financial year would kick in. But in general, reviving the economy will be Anwar's absolute priority. And I think if he focuses on indeed trying to bring inflation down, trying to create more jobs, trying to make sure that the food supply in Malaysia is sufficient and so on, then I think that people would indeed rally around him. If his administration is still plagued with the kind of power struggles that was very prevalent both in the Pakatan Harapan administration as well as in the subsequent two administrations, then this government may not be as stable as it now appears.
And part of that, achieving that, unity that has been talked a lot about is who he's going to be including in the cabinet. He must make it seem fair in order to keep the unity intact. Let's just walk through some of the important portfolios and some names that you have in mind.
Well, for example, his party deputy Rafizi Ramli is widely considered to be very expert in, for example, financial matters. So Rafizi Ramli as either economics or finance minister would be a suitable portfolio. And because judging from the ceremony just now, UMNO was present. So some of the heavyweights from UMNO, such as its Deputy President Mat Hassan, to be, for example, Deputy Prime Minister, and perhaps an important portfolio to go with that, ministerial portfolio, I think that would be ideal. And then you have some of these, by now old faces from the previous PH administration, such as Anthony Locke from DAP. And then you would need to include, for example, some figures from East Malaysia as well.
Now, this sort of indicates, a new era in Malaysian politics. And, with the Pakatan Harapan team at the fore, do you see that it's going to be less race-based politics from here on for Malaysia?
Well, I think Anwar Ibrahim in particular and Pakatan Harapan in general would, of course, like to present a more multicultural outlook for Malaysia, where all Malaysians could rally around the administration, as I said, to revive the economy. But let us also not forget, in the just concluded election, there's a substantial amount of Malaysians who perhaps see race and religion as the defining factor for them to cast their votes. And thereby you saw, for example, the PAS party expanded its numbers quite significantly as well. So how could he reconcile these two cohorts of Malaysians? I think that would be his main political challenge, to make sure that those who are more progressive and multiculturally minded would be able to work with those who are perhaps more conservative in their political and social outlook here.
And, Dr. Oh, it also seems that this entire political deadlock was broken by a royal decree. The king, the sultans, it seems unprecedented that they had to play a major role here this time round. And what do you read into it? And what does it mean for future elections?
Well, actually, the royalty has played a significant role, not only in this particular choosing of the Prime Minister, but during Sheraton move and also last year as well, because the political landscape in Malaysia is very fragmented nowadays. No single party or coalition could command an outright parliamentary majority. Therefore, it necessitates the king to play a more proactive role to see constitutionally, which particular leader is most likely to command a majority. And we have a very thorough and very methodical king. So he would make sure that, like for example, the major party or major coalitions leaders and also sometimes even individual MPs interviewed and such that he could ascertain their support for which particular leader. That's why the process it's a bit long. Yeah.
Doctor, I just want to just verify something. I mean, we have been getting news, rather comments from former Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin basically challenging Prime Minister Anwar to prove that he has a majority of 112 seats in Parliament. And because Muhyiddin himself says that he believes he has the support of 115 MPs in Parliament. I mean, him making, making this comment at this point, where is he expecting to go with it?
Well, the king has appointed Anwar, and Anwar has been sworn in. So Anwar will be prime minister, I think, at least until, as I said, the tabling of the budget in parliament, because a budget vote is traditionally considered a vote of confidence. If Anwar tables his budget and that budget passes, that means he has the confidence of the House and he could continue as prime minister. Well, Muhyiddin could pull out his all his supporters during that budgetary vote, if he would like to show that instead he has the majority. Yeah.
Yeah, always good speaking with you. Thanks very much for your time, Dr. Oh Yi Sun, Senior Fellow at the Singapore Institute of International Affairs.